Hi, it's Annie with Refinery 29, and we are here with the lovely and talented Blake Lively. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for chatting.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Of course. So, I want to just talk with you about your red carpet style. We see you all the time, you're looking good, you've got the gorgeous gowns.
Thank you.
When you think about red carpet, what is like iconic style to you?
Well, I always look to women of times past for iconic style because, you know, they're not wearing what's trendy now. You know, they're wearing, you know, you look at Katharine Hepburn in her pantsuits, or you look at Grace Kelly in her incredibly feminine gowns that look like a, you know, a princess, very fittingly. You know, so I look to women like that because I always look for style and not trends. You know, there are two very different things. One can be iconic in any time period. I always want to wear things that my kids will look back on and say, "Mom, that's amazing. Why didn't you keep that?" Not like, "I can't believe you wore that. You're embarrassing me so much."
Oh, yeah, we never want to look back at our style and think, what was I doing?
Yes, exactly.
When you're creating these looks, like, are you thinking about it day of? Are you very calm, or is do you feel pressure because you're going to have all these people taking your picture?
I feel it's always stressful when you're on a red carpet because it's never comfortable when there are a million people with cameras that are screaming your name and, you know, you're afraid, you know, and a lot of them really want to get that embarrassing photo. So they're like, you know, you're getting out of your car, which is an SUV, and there's a guy laying on the ground trying to shoot up your dress. And then it's your fault later when somebody could see up your dress, you know? It's
right.
Like there are people that are trying to get that embarrassing shot too. So it's always a bit of a stressful thing. So, but leading up to it is never stressful, you know, because I don't know, you make it a fun process. It's like going to a costume party. You get dressed up and you treat it that way. And you know, the few minutes you're on the red carpet is like, but after that, it's okay.
Walk me through a day where you have a big event. What does that look like for you?
Like any other day, I just try to fit in as much as I can before the event because you know, you run out of time. But the last premiere I went to, I had my nieces and nephews. I was babysitting them. They were at my hotel at the pool all day. I was getting dressed. I was in my gown. I had my whole, you know, it was that 40s look that I was telling you about. And my sister hadn't shown up yet, their mom. And she was late, so I was like, "Okay, you guys, we're coming to the premiere." So I'm carrying babies and wet bathing suit trunks, trying to put a towel between us, but I knew my dress wouldn't show watermarks because of it was beading, so it won't show water. So I'm holding the babies. I have them in the car with me. I walk the red carpet, and I get back in the car and continue to watch them until my sister shows up, and then I can go through my night.
I was not expecting this at all. I think that is really fun.
It was really fun. You know, it's fun to treat it like any other day, and it's also fun for my niece. You know, she looks up like, "Wow, look at these outfits." And but also one of my favorite moments was, you know, having my niece do that. But then the next day I went to the next premiere, and she'd been eating grilled cheese sandwiches, and I came home and she just had her grilled cheese sandwich in hand, covered in grease, and she just wrapped her arms around me and hugged me and just kind of like wiped her hands on me and walked up. And that was so great to me because she didn't like treat me like anything other than her aunt. And it was so nice to be on that red carpet and have everybody screaming at you and, you know, asking you what it's like to, you know, be in the spotlight, and then to go home and just be dressed like you were and have the same environment that you were, where people were treating you like something other than what you are. To go home and just be her aunt was like the greatest feeling ever.
I can see that. That's a really sweet story.
Yeah.
So, you know, we put the call out on Facebook to our readers that we were going to be talking with you, and without fail, all of you wanted to know, how do you have such gorgeous hair? Because I also kind of want to know.
Well, that's a nice thing to say. I don't know. My hair is something that is, I'm actually a pretty shy person by nature, so it's very much a safety net for me. So I love to have my hair down, and I love to have it full. And I always like it to look really relaxed. Oftentimes you see people on the red carpet with very like structured hair, and to me that just makes me feel stiff and uncomfortable. And if I have my hair down, there's something romantic about it. I feel like it looks lived in, or it feels like it has a story. It feels like much more effortless with the rest of the look. So I always, even in my daily life, go for a sort of effortless thing. So I'll like when I wash and dry my hair, I have naturally wavy hair, so I'll dry it to where it's still a little bit wet, and then I'll put it just in a ballerina bun, and then when I take it out, it has a really nice, natural, deep wave, and
I'm going to steal that.
It's a good trick, and if people are like, oh, that wouldn't work. It would only not work for you if you have really fine, really straight hair. But if you have any sort of natural bend in your hair, if you let it dry in that bun, or you put a blow dry on it after you put it up in that bun, and make sure the bun's really tight, then it will come out with really pretty waves. So
all right,
that's what I like
I'm doing this when I go home.
Yes,
and my hair should look like yours tomorrow. I'll be very excited. Just going back to before you get on the red carpet, what are kind of the last style or beauty things that you do before you hit the crowd?
You know, there are things like, you know, the obvious things. You touch up your lip gloss, or, you know, you make sure your face isn't too shiny, or this, that. You've got it in your tiny little clutch, so you can't really see what you're looking like. But I think that, you know, it's always, for me, most about, okay, are there any accidents that are going to happen? Because, you know, I'll wear some daring pieces in the way that they're cut. So I've oftentimes just come to the point of like, okay, if it's windy today and this thing is flowy, I don't want any sort of mistakes, so what can I do? Top stick shows up too much, you know, it's a big square, so let's use eyelash glue. So we'll use that and glue my outfit to my body. But, you know, that's sort of probably the last minute things that you're doing, is just making sure that everything is going to stay in place.
I'm impressed. I don't think I would have thought of eyelash glue.
Really?
It's very MacGyver of you.
Yeah, I don't know. My mom is very clever that way, so I'm always thinking of odd things in a pinch.
Very smart.
My mom used Advil as blush once.
Wait,
she
no.
didn't have blush, so she licked the Advil and took the pink off of it and used it.
I'm learning so much.
I don't think I recommend this at home, but you know, she was in a pinch and she needed blush, so that's what she did.
You come from the family of beauty MacGyvers.
I guess
I'm so impressed. So I know people talk about hair, makeup, the dress, but where does fragrance come into play?
Well, fragrance for me is actually one of the most important things that I live by daily, and as well as on the red carpet, because it's I like a more natural, effortless look. So I often don't wear much makeup in my real life, if any. But fragrance is something that really defines you, and it tells your story. It brings back so many emotions and so many memories. And like when you smell the smell of someone you love, and even if it's not on them, if it's somewhere, or your favorite meal, it just, the flood of emotions, the power that has is incredible. So to find your signature is something that is, it's like a little magic potion, you know, it's a very special thing. And unlike fashion, which trends in and out, fragrance is something that can be your signature for life. You know, my mom smells the way she always smelled, and it's the most comforting, amazing feeling to have that. It's also wonderful discovering a new one when someone walks into a room and you say, what is that smell? I have to have that.
You smell really good right now,
oh, really?
so I do need to know what
it's genuinely Gucci Première.
Yeah, she does smell really nice.
Thank you. But, you know, it says so much about who you are, I think, and, you know, this fragrance is the perfect fragrance, because I would always mix perfume with cologne, because I love the sensuality and the feminine tones that you get in perfume, but I love the strength and masculinity and empowerment that you feel from cologne. And so I would always mix the two, and I was always looking for the perfect concoction. And then when I went to work with Gucci on this, they let me smell it. And I was like, you guys did it! How did you do it? Now I only need one bottle. Because somehow, you know, they mixed the wood, which was the masculine side. They mixed floral, which is that femininity and grace and elegance. And then they mixed citrus in there too, which gives it like that flirtiness, you know, that sassiness. And it's just like everything that you want to be as a woman and everything you want to represent yourself as, they have in this bottle. And that's much more powerful than I think people give it credit for.
What is something that most people wouldn't know about getting ready for the red carpet, aside from using Advil in a pinch?
Or eyelash glue.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like everybody looks at it to be such a glamorous thing, but it can be a very intimidating and a very scary thing. I think that when people see people on the red carpet, you know, they look all comfortable and sultry and posed or poised and smiling, and nobody ever feels like that, I think, before they're stepping out of the car when they're home. Afterward, that's when you can feel glamorous, like you're at the ball, but before you're like, oh good gosh. So that's always scary, and I think that something that I find to be a little frustrating is that like this whole group mentality of like, let's decide if this is a best dress or if this is a worst dress, because I think that it discourages people in their real life from making bold choices, because you'll see somebody on a red carpet that made a bold choice and they'll be slammed, and you'll think, well, I don't want people to make fun of me. It goes back to like being in elementary school, you know, I want to do the thing that's safe. And somebody was just saying to me, you know, what do you think about how do we avoid things like Bjork's swan dress? I said, that's exactly the thing. We can't avoid the swan dress, because if Bjork didn't wear the swan dress, she wouldn't be Bjork. She wouldn't be making the music that we love. She wouldn't be everything that we want her to be. So to just encourage and nurture people to really be themselves and express themselves in whatever formation that is, I think that that's there should be more of that out there and less judgment.
Well, I'm excited to hear you say that, and I can't wait to see the next thing you wear on the red carpet. So
Thank you very much.
thank you. Thank you so much for
Nice to
talking
talk
with
to you.
us, and thanks for watching Refinery 29.